sa descriptive data mining, it summarizes yung mga historical data in order to identify yung mga underlying patterns, trends, and relationships without really making predictions. So by the end of this session, you should know how to define yung descriptive data mining. Second is you will learn yung text standardization kung saan papalitan natin yung formatting ng text. Then you will be able to implement data scaling techniques such as yung normalization and standardization. And lastly is to execute yung mga fundamental na data cleaning strategies. Dito sa dimension reduction naman, this removes yung redundancy by combining yung mga highly correlated variables. So, ang gagamitin natin dito is correlation. So, right now, meron tayong resulta ng survey. So, we want to limit this to reduce the data into something usable at makakapagbigay ng insights. We can use correlation. So, dito sa data, kailangan may data analysis toolpack na kayo. If wala, punta kayo sa file, tapos sa options, then dito sa add-ins, Excel add-ins, go. I-check nyo to yung analysis toolpack and then click OK. So, let's select data analysis. Tapos, to get a meaningful na dimension reduction, usually ang ginagamit is correlation. So, let's input our range. Let's select these tables or these columns, I mean. Tapos, lagyan niyo siya ng labels in first row kasi sinama natin sa selection yung labels. Then, nakagroup siya by column. Tapos, pwede naman dito na lang din ilagay sa worksheet na to. Sa output range. Yan. Kasi ito yung new worksheet eh. Ito naman yung workbook. Ito, para same sheet sila. So, let's select here. Ito natin ilagay. Then, click OK. So, how do we interpret this? As you can clearly see, kapag same variable siya, 1 siya. So, kapag hindi siya same variable, katulad ng trust to satisfaction, ano ang ibig sabihin nito? Kapag ang resulta is closer to 1, it suggests na merong strong relationships between these two variables. So, itong likelihood to recommend, mataas yung kanyang relationship sa satisfaction kasi 0.99. Tapos, second dito, yung trust to satisfaction. And lastly, purchase frequency to satisfaction. Ganun din ninyo tignan yung other variables. Likelihood to recommend sa trust, purchase frequency sa trust. Then, we have purchase frequency sa likelihood to recommend. Ganun. So, ang pinaka may strongest na relationship is yung likelihood to recommend and then satisfaction kasi they are nearer dun sa value ng 1. Isipin niyo yung 1 is equivalent to 100%. But also take note na we were able to do this correlation kasi pares-parehas siya ng scale. Like, it is 1 to 10. So, these three are 1 to 10. Also, ito naman frequency, umabot din naman siya sa 9. So, ang scale niya, probably the same siya. Dito sa cluster data analysis, ang goal natin is to find a pattern. Ngayon, meron tayong given age, meron tayong annual income at spending score nila. Gusto natin malaman who earn more at what age. Tapos, ang isa natin titignan din is sino ang magastos. Ibig sabihin, anong edad ang pinakamagastos? Dito naman, anong edad yung pinakamalakas kumita? Pwede natin itong makita through visualization by using scatter chart. Now, we select this data range. Tapos, insert. Dito tayo sa scatter chart. It's hard to identify kasi, halimbawa, maglalagay tayo ng axis title. We all know na itong nasa ilalim, these are yung age niya. But dito, itong scatter chart, kinumbine niya yung range ng annual income tsaka spending. We can fix this kasi mas maganda kung nakahiwala yung annual income sa spending. So, ang gagawin natin, click natin yung certain data point, tapos right-click natin. Then, change series chart type. Ayan. Tapos, yung annual income, ito gawin nating main, at ang gawin nating secondary is yung spending score. So, right now, nahiwalay na natin yung ranges niya. So, dito, sa left side is yung annual income, kasi ito yung lowest niya, 25,000. You can check din naman eh. Dito naman, lagyan natin siya ng title, axis title, kasama ang secondary vertical. Tapos, this one is yung spending score. So, now, we can clearly see kung nasaan yung pinakamadami. Like dito, for 20 years old, pinakamarami ang, let's say, annual income, nasa range siya ng 15 to 20,000 annually. Then, how do we interpret naman yung spending score? Kapag mas mataas yung score mo, ibig sabihin mas magastos ka. So, hindi ito money, hindi siya monetary value, it's a score. Ngayon, itong mga high income earners, let's say, ayan, yung age ng 20 years old, ang kanilang spending score is mas mataas. Ayan, no? Mas mataas to kumpara sa edad ng nasa 60. So, we can say na mas magastos itong age group na between 20 to 30 kasi nandito yung clustering nila. Tapos, nag-cluster naman sa mababang score yung nasa edad between 50 to 70 years old. At yung edad na to, ang income nila is almost konti lang ang nilamang doon sa 20 years old na ang cluster between 15 to 20,000 annually. Sila naman is nasa above and below 20,000. So, we can say na mas mataas ang income, let's say ito, lalo na to, nung nasa 50, pero mas mababa ang kanyang spending score. Kumpara dito sa 20 years old, ayan, nasa between 15 to 20 siya, pero mataas din yung kanilang spending score. So, we can say na mas magastos talaga yung mga nagsisimula pa lang sa work. Dito naman sa association rules, gusto natin malaman if yung certain product can be associated to other products. Kumbaga, ito yung bundling of different products. Like, pwede ba magkasama ang milk, bread, and eggs? Mabenta ba ito? Yun yung gusto nating ma-found out dito sa association. Ngayon, we can do that. So, let's say itong transaction ID number, ito yung mga customer ng store. Tapos, ito yung mga binili nila. So, meron siyang item 1, 2, and 3. Tapos, may item 4 din. We can do that dito sa Excel. So, ang first step natin dito sa Excel is to combine these ranges. So, we can use itong function ng text join. Ito yung delimiter niya. So, as you can clearly see, itong comma is in between the two quotation marks. So, ibig sabihin niyan, yan yung what will separate each column. Pero pagkasamahin natin siya sa isang column. And true naman, ibig sabihin, kapag blank yung cell, ini-ignore niya. Tapos, this one naman is yung range. Ito yung mga columns na included. So, let's copy this. Then, paste it here. So, text join, ito yung delimiter, ayan. True na you will ignore yung empty cells, tapos saan ninyo kukunin. So, click enter. Ayan. Delimiter, it is what separates one identity to another. So, dito, it separates one cell to another pero combined in a single cell. Then, double-click it. So, as you can see, wala. If empty, wala talagang ilalagay. Ngayon, meron na tayong information na magkakasamang item. Pwede na natin bilangin, such as gaano kadalas lumabas yung milk or gaano kadalas lumabas yung bread. Ayan. We will now count how many rows contain both items. Pwede ba natin siyang i-bundle together? Ngayon naman, count tips yung gagamitin natin. So, to do this manually, let's select equal. Then, select count ifs. Tapos, select natin yung buong range. Control-Shift down. Then, comma. Then, kailangan lagyan ng double quotation mark kasi ang hinahanap natin is a text value. Tapos, kailangan ng asterisk. Tapos, milk, kailangan correct spelling. And then, double quotation, comma. Ano pa yung hinahanap natin? Ang next value na gusto natin mabilang is yung bread. So, ulitin natin. Select natin yung buong range. Ayan. Tapos, comma. And then, double quotation, asterisk, tapos bread, asterisk, double quotation, then closing parenthesis. How do we interpret this? Ibig sabihin ito, yung milk, bread, and eggs, 9 times siyang lumabas. So, to check, you need to count manually. How many rows contain both items? So, we have it 9 times na 9 times lumabas yung milk at bread na magkasama. We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Magkasama siya. And meron din kayong makikitang pattern like this is descending. 9, 8, 7 hanggang 1. So clearly, ang binasa lang ng Excel dito is yung occurrences ng milk at bread together kahit na may kasama siyang ibang item. Let's say meron kayong e-commerce shop, halimbawa sa loob ng Shopee, tapos gusto nyo makita if nagmamatch pa talaga yung ratings doon sa comments nila. Then you collected these comments, ngayon pwede nyo siyang gawa ng numerical value. First, you need to identify ano ba yung mga positive words at negative words na madalas ninyong nababasa doon sa loob ng comment section ng selected product ninyo. So, ito yung list, for example. Ngayon, pwede natin siyang bilangin. Before natin silang bilangin, pangalanan muna natin itong data range na to. Select the data range, then right-click, tapos hanapin yung define name. Tapos, ang ilalagay nyo dito, let's say, for example, is positive words or pause words. Yan, ito yung pinili ko. Tapos, dito sa datasheet na to, which is text mining, then click OK. Ayan. Kaya lang nagawa ko na siya. Tapos, pangalanan nyo din yung negative words. Right-click, then define nyo siya. And then, again, iselect nyo itong datasheet natin. So, meron na tayong data range, tapos ang pangalan niya is pause words and neg words. Tapos, we can use this formula. Pwede natin siyang gawin manually to inspect yung bawat parts niya. So, we will use yung sum. Tapos, inside sum is bibilangin natin kung gaano kadalas lumabas yung positive words. Kasi nandito tayo sa positive column. Tapos, select natin yung cell na bibilangin natin if meron nga ba lumabas from our bank. Ito, positive words bank. Ganyan. Tapos, ano yung criteria natin? So, ito yung selection na pipiliin natin from the data range. Kaya, pwede natin ilagay asterisk na lang. Tapos, saan natin siya kukunin? Ito yun, yung end. Tapos, yung data range, yung pangalan niya, which is pause words, then ampersand again, then double quotation, tapos asterisk, then double quotation, then double closing parenthesis. Kasi dalawang beses natin ginamit yung parenthesis. Ayan. So, dito sinabi na merong isang positive word na lumabas. Ito yung excellent. Tapos, copy. Ulitin natin siya sa negative words. Copy na lang natin to. And then, click enter. So, wala. Para dito sa first row. Yan. Para malaman natin if sino mas lamang ba, yung positive or negative, let's find the difference between the positive and negative. Kaya, we deduct yung C4 sa D4. So, this is minus. Diba? So, 1 minus 0 is 1. Ibig sabihin, positive siya. Then, may negative. Kasi 0 minus 1 is negative 1. Ibig sabihin, negative yung interpretation dito. Tapos, I prepared this, yung interpretation using if conditionals. Ayan. Let's do this manually na lang. So, let's select if. If yung E4, ito, is equal to 1, comma, then, ang sasabihin natin is positive. Tapos, double quotation. Kapag words yung gusto nating i-return nila ng Excel, gagamit tayo ng double quotation. Tapos, comma, another if statement tayo. If yung E4 naman, hindi ko na siya mapindot, kaya susulat ko na lang, E4 is greater than 1, ibig sabihin, very positive yung sinabi nung nag-comment. So, double quotation, lagyan natin, very positive. Okay? Wala tayong value na nilalagay pag false. Instead of writing a false statement, magbubukas tayo ulit ng another if na condition. So, ito naman yung susunod. If yung E4 is equal sa negative 1, ang sasabihin natin, this is a negative comment. Okay? Negative. Then, another if statement ulit. If yung E4, ang gawin natin capital, E4 is equal, ang sasabihin natin is very negative. Kasi, dalawang beses siya nagbanggit ng negative words. Kaya, very negative. Then, comma, if yung E4 na cell ang naging resulta naman niya is 0, then, ang i-return niya is neutral. Kasi, it's not positive or negative yung final comment niya. Kaya, neutral. Tapos, ilang beses natin ginamit yung if. We count now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, 5 beses tayong magsasara ngayon ng closing parenthesis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Enter. Ayan. Tapos, double click. Ngayon, we can easily identify ano yung very negative at ano yung very positive. So, dito, ang sinabi niya very negative, broken on arrival, very sad. So, this is one of the many approach na data mining using Excel.